Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Revere Sky, Revere Sky's essence. People really don't get it, but people are making poor judgment and poor excuses for people. This is how you know governmental control is in full effect. I don't care how spiritually conscious you think you are. I don't care if you say God is in you, you're another energy from another planet, but for some reason, a lot of people are going along with the program no matter what. People try to blame things and point fingers at the cartel, right? But now there's a shift where pharmaceutical companies are buying out the cartels. People are not doing recreational drugs anymore, they're on opioids. Now, we have the right to observe and see and experiment and try things out. But one thing about it is some of this stuff that they're pushing now, you can't just experiment and turn back from. Once you initiate the beginning, you're going to continue to be a part of the agenda. Now, back in the days, they brought out the crack era. Now, they had weed, but they brought out the crack era so that all our parents could lose everything they had. Meaning when it was time to will us stuff, meaning our parents who have grandparents that are still living that have a nice little fortune going on, they tried to destroy our parents. So our parents that are in their early 70s, late 50s, in that range, they tried to destroy them. So that us growing up now, the ones in their early 30s, well, early 40s, late 20s, in that era, won't have nothing. They tried to take us out the system, as in having something, being able to pay taxes on property that's already paid for, right? Now, when this crack era hit, our parents didn't have to go do no crack. Like, why are you smoking a white substance that hit the street out the blue? Same goes with vaccinations. Oh, okay, everybody's dying, huh? Nobody can go to work, huh? The same way they telling people nobody could go to work, it's the same way they're not allowing specific ships to deliver at the ports. The same way Bill Gates is buying up farmland that was supposed to be producing food for the last 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years. The same way you can't enter that restaurant because of a vaccine. Listen, 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 listen. Y'all can make excuses for the puppet master all you want. The only person I'm pointing fingers at is the incompetent person that's allowed to even act on the situation. I say it over and over and over. You got incompetent people voting. That's right. You got incompetent people voting for already selected people. Does that make any sense? You got incompetent people believing everything on TV from being brainwashed, and y'all want to blame it on the puppet master? Tomorrow, nobody will have no source of transportation. So you think I'm just going to sit in the house and not move around and not walk around, not migrate, not go on voyages because there's no transportation? No. Y'all keep saying the puppet masters, the people who caused the problem, is the problem. No, 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 no. The people who believe in the people who caused the problem are the problem. If you believe in the fuckery and the lies and the cheats You are the problem. That's just like a woman who want to go fight another woman because she know that she married to that man, when in fact she should be fighting her husband for being a low down dirty bastard for going outside of the marriage. See, everybody want the scapegoat, but nobody want to know what's real. We're surrounded by sleep, incompetent people who choose to believe in their oppressor and choose to believe in the snake right in their face. You wake up one morning now, you're supposed to be scared for your life. When in fact, people are dying from food consumption more than any disease or virus on the planet. Say it again, Revere Sky. There are more people dying on the planet from food consumption than any other disease on the planet. I spoke about Taco Bell. I say, now why on earth are people eating Taco Bell taco sauce? There's something in that taco sauce so fierce that it will open you up. It will cause problems. These are dairy demons to a whole new level. You got more people on the planet dying from food consumption than anything in the world. But nobody's banning these foods. Nobody's banning these chemicals because they have made you docile and weak and mentally incompetent to even know what's right and wrong. A person could sit up here and eat fresh fruits and vegetables and get diarrhea and think that the food made them sick, when in fact, Elijah Muhammad, I think that's his name, even said it. You can eat the wrong stuff for so long, when it's time to eat the right stuff, you're having adverse effects as if the stuff is bad for you. Now, they told all these old people to take these vaccines, say that they needed it to protect themselves so they could keep living, when in fact they don't want your elders around. They don't want nobody owning land and property. They want you to lose everything you got, all the fortunes and everything that you have in your family structure. Why you think they started with them first? Y'all keep blaming things on the person who created it, when in fact all you got to do is say no. Nobody put a gun up to your head. Nobody forced you to do it. Nobody came and kicked your door in and made you do it. Y'all keep pointing the fingers. Tomorrow, somebody could create a poison and say, this is good for you. This will give you long life and you can eat whatever junk you want on the planet. You're going to go do it. Then you start having adverse side effects. And then they say, oh, this was supposed to help me. Yeah, it was supposed to help you temporarily until your psyche could no longer take on the magic of what you thought it was supposed to do for you. See, we have an alchemical structure that will make your brain say, this is good for me. This is powerful. But sooner or later, that poison or that toxin is going to twist. And all that good energy you had for it will be gone. And that poison is going to take a toll on your body. Y'all keep blaming it on the people who came up with the problem and the solution. When in fact, if you were competent enough to believe in who you truly are, you wouldn't have this problem. It's no different than race. A person really think that one race is a savage and one race is not a savage. Your programming and indoctrination is everything, but there's no discernment, right? And then the black people want a solution for racism, But how can there be a solution for racism when they're looking at their neighbor like, oh, I got this and you don't have it. I buy this and you don't buy it. They're no different than nobody else. They just as racist. I live here and you live there. They're just as fucking racist. Competing with subliminal programming and then bringing it back to the household and the community and making it seem like they somebody. Y'all gonna keep blaming this stuff on people when in fact you're incompetent. Anybody that's blaming something on the government is incompetent. That's why they're governing your mind. That's why they're governing your mental. You're flat out incompetent. You lack knowledge, which lacks power. You can't, just because they put something out on the market, that don't mean you got to do it. So that's letting you know that the incompetent people are controlling the people who want to have free will, free thinking, freedom of speech, freedom of correction, question everything. Y'all keep pointing the finger. Man, let me tell you something. They could put a cell phone tower right in your yard or wherever they want to. If the community say take that shit down, that shit got to go down. But if everybody around you incompetent and think that you need it, cell phones are getting more advanced. We need more power. We need more speed. We need more access. We need more coverage. Bullshit. Bullshit. They could put a landline in your house with a monitor or whatever, a controller or whatever that will give you just as much output in your neighborhood. They put these military weapons in your neighborhood to fry you, to give you cold-like and flu-like symptoms. But y'all want to say, oh, it's their fault, not our fault. How is it their fault if you're not speaking up? You're just sitting listening to another person speak about it. Y'all gonna get enough of blaming stuff on the person who created the poison. But one thing about it, you don't have to take the poison. Y'all really gonna get enough of it. Y'all are always blaming stuff on the creator of it, the man-made, the co-creator. But not once did you say, well, Sky, we don't have to do it. We could walk away from the situation. Why is it so many incompetent people that can act on something and cause everybody else have to go along with the program? They could have gave us the same speed as 5G with 3G. But they had to introduce new phases and new toxins and new weapons on your ass. So since they had to introduce new weapons to you, they had to come up with new hardware and new devices. When they upgrade hardware, it allows them to extend the software. If you have countries banning microwaves, why would this country allow you to have microwave technology in every neighborhood? And they don't even want you to have a microwave in your house with lower wattage, but they want you to have a microwave in your neighborhood that expands a 3-mile, 5-mile radius. But oh, it's the creative fault. Oh, we're not responsible for all these upgrades and asking for faster stuff. We're not questioning anything. We're not observing anything. Just because they create a problem and a solution don't mean you have to agree with it. Y'all keep pointing the finger. That's just like iPhone. As soon as we come out with a new iPhone, we're going to slow down the iPhone from last year. Something would tell you to quit buying these $1,000 phones. They're only a scam. How many years are you going to have to go through it? How many years are you going to go through them slowing down your phone and slowing down your services? So you might as well go to Walmart and buy the cheapest phone. At least you ain't got to worry about them slowing down your services. At least you ain't got to worry about them forcing you into something that you don't even want to buy because the old product still work. That's just like these electric cars. You don't think that they ain't going to EMP them electric cars, causing you to have to buy another one? And then they're going to tell you something like, oh, they were lemons. They're literally going to cut your car off for no reason. The same way they delete my comments on my pages. The same way they delete the comments on the pages and monitor you. The same way they're like, oh, this person has $50,000 in the bank. Boop. They're going to click the button on that electric car. They're going to have you go in there and spend this obscene amount of money for their faulty equipment. It's all a scheme. It's all trickery. It's all trickery of the mind. Do you feel like you need it? Do you feel like it's going to protect you? Do you feel like you can't live without it? It's all fuckery. It's all trickery. They have been advertising and selling false lies forever. Every food advertisement, every food commercial has always used glue and toothpicks and fake stuff to make things look good. And it's never what you get when you buy it. So why on earth are you going to believe that the only problem is the person who created the fuckery in the first place? No. The fuckery come when you've been taken out of your natural habitat and you feel like you need it. The Australian woman said it. She said, it's as convenient as the sugar, the jam, and the breads were. Now, these people didn't bring them no vegetables. They just brought them sugar, bread, and jam. She said it was so, and flour. She said it was so easy to just go get the sugar, bread, and flour that they didn't feel like they needed to hunt and gather anymore. They didn't feel like they needed to get their medicines anymore. So they was just consuming this sugar, bread, and flour, and the elders just started to die. Same goes. They create a car, you don't feel like you need to walk. They create an escalator, you don't feel like you need to go up the stairs. They create a elevator, you feel like you don't need to walk. They create a bike, a scooter, electric scooter off solar power. You don't feel like you need to walk them 5 blocks no more. Convenience is killing people. And sometimes it's only giving you short-term glory. Mentally, you felt like you needed it. But 3 years later, you may not feel like that. People around here embedding DNA in people. Shit, I'm going to be single the rest of my life. You get up to a man, oh, I'm fully vaccinated. I don't want that DNA encoding in me. The hell? I'm going to be a real lonely person. They could turn on the cell phone towers tomorrow and cause you to have flu-like symptoms to the point you can't get out of bed for 4 or 5 days, and you're going to run to that emergency room and you're going to go take them shots because you're going to feel like you got exposed to something, but you ain't get exposed to nothing but radiation, silent weapons from military-grade technology. That's all it is. It's psyops. It's It's programming in the mind that you can't live without it. Everybody's not taking this programming. I already said when it comes down to these vaccines, the people that are vaccinated are going to think they could do citizen arrest on people that are not vaccinated. And it's going to be a full-fledged war, a full-fledged civil war. Y'all keep blaming stuff on the people who promote the outlets. Turn them off. But remember, these people are so docile and weak and programmed that that information is informative, that that information is correct. That information is not correct. Why aren't we allowed to speak up or ask questions on our level? Why are we only able to get one type of news, one type of information, one type of source? Why did they burn up all these Spanish museums? Why are they burning up all the books? Why is there only little white magic? What happened to the dark chaos magic? Why did they get rid of them books? See, the most powerful people with the most knowledge are allowed to use the black magic, the dark magic, the chaos magic. But the common people, oh no, they're slowly trying to get rid of New Orleans. They're trying to get rid of Haiti. They're trying to get rid of anybody that's in tune with nature, that believe wholeheartedly in nature. So y'all could sit up here and say, oh, it's the people fault who introduced us to it. No. That's just like drugs. You got to be real powerful. When you realize that the people that are locking you up for the drugs are the same people who put the drugs out on the street, something should tell you to quit doing them drugs. Like, wait a minute, this ain't natural. This ain't normal. You mean to tell me the same person around here locking people up, giving them tickets, giving them fines, ruining their lives are the same people who put the drugs out on the street? You mean to tell me it ain't no niggas smuggling drugs across the line? No, no. Your own government is putting the drugs on the street. Your own government is putting the drugs in the neighborhood. Your own government is locking your motherfucking ass up. So, whose fault is that? Your own government made it so that black men could not have jobs that paid more money than black women. So, whose fault is that? That should tell a black man that he needs to start his own business and be his own boss and quit looking for handouts. That means he needs a wife that's going to make that money, and she going to flip that money, meaning know that this money is about to be flipped into a business that's going to better our family. Just like all these older people that want you to go work for somebody else and go to school and pay debt for the rest of your life. But they don't want to teach you how to build your own brand and grow and be self-sustained. Y'all keep blaming it on the oppressor. We didn't never have to go to these people's schools. What they said, oh, we're going to lock the parents up if you don't go to school. Yeah, because you signed the birth certificate. If you didn't sign the birth certificate, no white folks wouldn't be knocking on your door telling you that you got to send your children to school. If you didn't sign the birth certificate just to get that lousy ass income tax credit, you wouldn't have these issues. Y'all are so, say it again, y'all are so reliant on governmental assistance to the point all your trust and faith is in mankind and not your creator. Mankind is a form of man that was altered. The DNA has been altered over several hundred years. Matter of fact, the destruction of us only been going on for about 400 years. Probably not even 400 years. They was able to chemically induce us and alter us within 400 years. First, they started psychologically. Once our weapons and our shield was down from the planet. And then they started inducing us chemically in the last 200 years. In the last 100 years, they started altering the the they started altering the vegetation, the produce and the fruit. You see, they fucking up the food, but nobody's trying to grow food. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Y'all could keep pointing fingers at the masterminds, but it's up to you to fall for it. Just because they're masterminds and just because they say it's right or this is the new normal, it does not mean you have to comply. But guess what? A lot of people are afraid to die. So they will comply. They will comply to the lies, the deceit, and everything. It's a major problem. It's a major disturbing situation. And the only problem is the people around you are incompetent to the fact. Just straight up incompetent. They got the body, they got the mind, but they don't have the free thinking. They don't have the freedom of speech. They only know one thing: work, make this money, don't try to do for self. You're supposed to be taking the money that you make and creating your own reality on the side, creating your own self-sustained ecosystem. Everybody know if they're going to charge for water, you need well water. Everybody know if they're going to charge for air, you need plants. When they started charging us for bottled water, they should show right then and there, damn, I need a well. Because I need a well and solar power to electrify the well so it can pump the water. I'm telling y'all, y'all don't see it. They give you an option. Live on the grid or live off the grid. The grid is about to start getting really fucking expensive. So if you're not trying to alter your reality to live off the grid, you're going to have major problems. Oh, but it's their fault, right? They say milk costs $10 a gallon. So you're not thinking about going to buy a cow and produce your own milk for your family? You're not trying to think about buying land